you guys, it's me Maureen and welcome back to my channel. Before we get started with this video, I want you all to go to Amazon and find my book. It's called The Next Great Depression. You guys are gonna love this book. I put a lot of time and effort into this book. And I think most of you need to know what's in this book as far as canning and gardening and husbandry and all these things that you need to know when we go into this next Great Depression. And you guys, you have seen everything that's been on TV. Tonight, Trump's supposed to go on at 9 o'clock. I'm usually asleep by that time, but I'm going to stay up and watch this because he's supposed to make a big announcement, okay? And I think China right now is going to be getting involved, okay? So this is just something for you guys to think about. So that's why I really want you guys to go check out my book. There it is. Once again, it's called The Next Great Depression. It's a really good book. I would really appreciate if you just go check it out. Okay, so let's get into what this video is really about, okay? You know, back in 2020, everybody was losing their jobs. Nobody was working. And let me tell you, a lot of divorces happened in 2020. 2021, 2022. Why? Because people just couldn't handle, you know, when you're married, you're apart for at least 8 hours a day, right? Well, when you both lost your jobs, you were together 24/7 with the kids. And it took a toll on a lot of marriages. People started drinking, people started cheating, people did all these things because they were just so wound up because everything was going on back then. You know, I know you know what I'm talking about. So today I want to talk about, you know, you guys need to keep it in the back of your head that something big is coming and you're going to have to stick together. You and your wife are going to have to deal with this together. It's going to be financial. It's going to be no school again. All these things are going to happen. And if you don't have a strong foundation in your marriage is just going to go to hell. Because there's going to be just so much drama going on when this big next event happens. So I'm just telling you, keep your marriage strong when you start going through these bad times. And let me tell you what happened to this one couple that my husband knew from church, right? It was a woman and a man. They were married. They had 2 beautiful kids. They were married for 15 years. 15 years! And then things happened. And they got a divorce. Now, this is what I want to talk about right here. This is the whole enchilada, okay? When you're going through a divorce, co-parenting is so freaking important, right? We knew this one boy, this is the couple that I'm talking about, who were married for 15 years. They got a divorce. And the father had so much more money than the mother. So what does he do? I don't even know how to say this, but he is mentally abusing his children by talking bad about the mother. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever been through a divorce, but when I was younger, I went through a divorce with my family. My mom would talk bad about my dad. My dad would talk bad about my mother. And I was just like, and being as young as I was, I didn't understand it, right? So if you're getting a divorce, and a lot of people are going to be getting a divorce when all this shit happens, because they can't handle it, and it affects the marriage. The one thing I want to tell you is to be good at co-parenting. I don't care how bad you hate your spouse, your ex-spouse. I don't care. Your job is to make your children feel safe and loved and appreciated. You do not talk bad about the mother. And I don't care how much money you have. You know, you think you're doing a good thing by buying your child all these things. Because the mother can't, right? It's just terrible. I mean, and then, let me tell you this. Because these two got a divorce, right? Your son might get married. Your son is going to get married. He's going to bring his spouse into the family, right? And the whole family starts loving this girl. Like she is the family, right? If my son ever brought another woman, they got married, and I started loving this girl like I should, she is my daughter-in-law, right? The son is not going to tell me I can't talk to her no more. I didn't have nothing to do with that divorce. It wasn't my fault. You brought your wife into this family. And the family loves her. So why would you expect the family to stop talking to your ex-wife? That's crazy. And you ought to be ashamed of yourself for letting it get this far. Now, a lot of people think, oh, well, they had a right to a divorce. They could have been cheating. They could have been drinking. They could have been doing all these things that brought you to this divorce. But the thing you have to remember is your family loved that woman like she was a part of the family. And you, the son, should not expect you, the family, to stop talking to this woman. It wasn't nobody's fault but the two of you. The two of you couldn't do this. So you should not expect the family to disown this woman. That's crazy. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. I don't know how else to say it, but it's just wrong. And the way you co-parent, some of these men and women, how they co-parent, it's disgusting. And all you're going to do is hurt your child. They are going to remember what you said about the mother, and they're going to remember what the mother said about the father. All you're doing is hurting your own children because they don't know what to do, what to think, who to go with. But if you two were reunited, your children will grow up happy and healthy and all that you want them to be. But it's not going to happen if you keep talking bad about the mother or vice versa. So, you know what? I'm not going to keep talking about this. I just want you to think about what I've said. Okay? So until my next video, I'll be back here tomorrow, and I'll see you then. See ya!